Well, we've all got our own lives and concerns. Caring for others can double the good in the world for ourselves and for others. Our next guest has some powerful advice on volunteering and how you can help your children learn more about the joy of giving. Philanthropist and seasoned executive Neil Ghosh joins us now. Welcome, Neil. You were just a teenager when you founded an organization to empower children and youth through your hometown, in your hometown in India. Where did your life take you from there?
Thank you. Thank you. It's wonderful to be here, and particularly at a time when there's so much division and disruption, talking about empathy and teaching kids to show empathy is so important. Before I answer this, let me share some good news with you. I think there are so many, we are all starving for some good news. So let me start with that. Indiana University did a study sometime in 2011, which showed that empathy was all-time low, and they compared that to empathy in late 70s in America. And there was all this headline news that time that end of empathy. Fast forward to 2024, they did the same study that showed empathy is rising again, particularly among late millennials and Gen Z population. So for me, I wanted to start with that because I think with all this news we have, it gives me hope that empathy is on the rise almost at the late 70 level.
Fascinating. Why is that?
It's a good question. I think, we always, human being, we react to many different things. We react to our home. We react to the news. I don't think they have gone down to the research, the reason of the huge difference. My only conclusion from my side will be, and I was going to talk about that with you a little bit, there is how we raise our children, what values we give it to them. And I'll give you some example on that. We talk about, and I kind of came up with a framework, I call it HEART, H-E-A-R-T, just to remember for me and for all the parents. And I say H stands for heroism starts small, and teaching kids that, hero is not about just capes, it's about kindness. And you talk about my childhood, and I will give you an example. I grew up at a home where lack of resources, but not lack of empathy. I sometimes jokingly say my mother was a 24-hour empathy machine, churning out empathy, doesn't matter who the receiving end, she doesn't discriminate it. My father, on the other side, was quiet, but he acted upon it. What do I mean by that? As strange as it may sound, we have young people joining our vacation because some kid may have a drug issue or alcohol issue. And my father felt maybe taking them to our family vacation will rehabilitate them. At that time, it was very strange to me. But looking back, I kind of feel that the idea that empathy, generosity is not a source of kindness. It's empathy is a source of kindness. And I think teaching our kids to show them that they can make a difference at any age, I think it's the best gift we can give it to the next generation.
Yeah, certainly empowering to know that you can make such a good difference in the world, and from such an early age could really change the course of a life. What are the other aspects that you've outlined at least five aspects in terms of teaching and passing on this kind of wisdom to children?
Sure. I kind of deliberately tried to come up with a framework that we can remember. I talked about the H, which is heroism starts small. And the E I also touched on because empathy begins at home. We have to remember kids don't do what we say. Kids do what we do. They are watching us all the time, consciously and subconsciously. And that's the reason I gave the example that generosity does not come from abundance, it comes from empathy. So that's my E. The other two is A, ask them to join. It doesn't matter whatever your giving might be, whether you're sponsoring a child or you're volunteering, no matter what aspect of your life is about giving, include them so they don't see giving as an adult thing. So I think ask them to join is number 3. Number 4, I will say resilience through empathy. And let me explain what do I mean by that. Sometimes some people see empathy as soft, and we have to make sure that we teach them, encourage them that empathy is leadership, empathy is resilience, empathy is strategic, not soft. So I think resilience through empathy is a huge lesson we must give it to our children. And I think the
Beautiful.
T and the heart is take a stand against hate, any shape or form of hate. I think that's the way I kind of framed it. Those are the 5 things we can do to teach our kids to grow up as a, empathy and kind human being.
And Neil, you've just written a book called Do More Good, and it highlights everyday change makers, many of whom started young or inspired their own children to follow in their footsteps. Could you tell me a little about the people that you spoke to and the stories that you gleaned from that?
Stephania, I deliberately chose characters that are from all walks of life. I have Karim Abdul-Jabbar, who is a basketball player. I have Holiness Dalai Lama. I have Bill Clinton. And I have people in my neighborhood in Washington, D.C., in Maryland, in Virginia, just regular people doing their job. So I wanted to make sure that when I look at this, the reader, young people, they look at this book, they don't see this as one particular sector in nonprofit or whatever, in social sector. There are people from all walks of life doing amazing things. And the lessons in the books, the way I structured this is not what we learn from them and what I learned from them, but I intentionally, after every chapter, I created a section, resource section. See, it's all about action. So what my whole goal was, everybody, irrespective of what our economic status might be, doesn't matter where we live, doesn't matter how old we are capable to do some good. And the resource section allows us to, whether you care for volunteering, you can join a volunteer organization. If you care about child trafficking, whether you care about old age home or environment, whatever our passion might be, we can do something about it. So I created a resource section in addition to the lessons, so each of us can take a step, small step. And I'm all believer, the word I always use, when I go to a gas station and put my 50 cents for St. Jude, I'm a micro-philanthropist. Because we have this notion that philanthropist got to be somebody very rich and wealthy. And I say, no, a child can be a philanthropist. We're all philanthropists. So that's a message in the book, that we are all capable, absolutely capable, and responsible to do something on an everyday basis.
Yeah, building warmth and goodwill all around. Thank you so much, Neil Ghosh. And your book, just out, is Do More Good. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thanks for having me.